On your journey to improving in Warzone, you may have heard of a term called rotational aim assist, which is a very broken mechanic in Warzone. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys exactly what it is, how to use it, and when to use it. This video alone will have you going from missing every single shot to hitting every single shot, not missing a bullet, not missing a beat, especially in close range gunfights. So first, I'm going to explain exactly how it works and how you guys can use it. Then I'm going to demonstrate it and show you guys exactly how strong the aim assist is when you use it properly. So if you guys do enjoy today's video and learn something new, make sure you guys drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you guys don't miss any more coaching videos and tips and tricks like this. So I'm going to quickly explain to you guys exactly what rotation aim assist is and how you guys can use it. If you guys already know, you guys can skip over. I will be actually showing you guys exactly the difference between having rotation aim assist and not having any at all. But basically, the way rotation aim assist works in Warzone 3, basically think of it as the game trying to compensate for the fact that you are moving around on a controller. So if I was to stand still, there really isn't going to be any aim assist at all that really kicks in. I mean, you're going to get a little bit, but most of you guys are kind of just standing still most of the time and shooting whatever, player you see, especially if you guys are at range. Up close with SMG, you might move around, and that's might be why you guys experience more success in close range gunfights with SMGs. But if you guys are further back, I see a lot of players just stand entirely still while sniping or using an LMG or an AR, and that right there is not what you want to do in Warzone or Modern Warfare 3. This goes for basically any game in Call of Duty right now. Rotation aim assist has been around for a minute, and this is one of the most broken things you can abuse in Warzone. Moving around is what you want. You want to move your left stick as much as you can while shooting other players, and this goes for long range and close range gunfights. You never want to be standing still for a number of reasons. Number one, no rotational aim assist. Number two, you're a completely still target and someone can easily just fry you, because if they are moving around, you're going to be a much easier target for their rotation aim assist. So that's how rotation aim assist works. You want to be moving around your left stick. Now, any input will actually make it more stickier. You don't have to move too much. You don't have to be like moving crazy left to right. You want to just move just a bit. When you ADS, obviously you're going to slow down. You're not going to be moving very fast unless you have an SMG or something with a lot of movement speed or intact stance. But for the most part, you want to just move a bit. You can even move forward and backward. You don't have to strafe left or right necessarily, but I would recommend you guys strafe to left or right because it just makes you a harder target. If you're moving back and forth, you're a bit easier to hit, and keep in mind that this also works for drop shotting. So if you are moving around while drop shotting, you will get more rotation aim assist even though you're not moving that much. Keep in mind that it doesn't really matter how much your character is moving. It more so matters the input on your controller. Even though I'm not moving much while prone, I'm still giving quite a bit of input to the controller, so therefore rotational aim assist will still kick in very strong. So that's how it works. I'm going to demonstrate to you guys in the firing range and against some bots and how exactly you guys should be fighting your close range and long range gunfights by using this. So here I am in the firing range right now. I'm going to demonstrate to you guys exactly how this works. So I'm going to ADS at this dummy right here. As I approach it, it's going to move, and I'm not going to move my left stick. So I'm not going to apply any aim assist. I'm just going to let the game do its thing while I'm standing still. And you guys will see if I do this, nothing's going to really happen. Let me go to this side. The dummy goes in front of me, nothing happens. That's how most of you guys are experiencing your gunfights. You're not really getting any sort of pull on them. You can see this is how most players are experiencing aim assist, which is why a lot of people are like, oh, these sweaty players, are hacking or cheating, or streamers, because there's no way they're getting that much aim assist. I don't see aim assist. Well, this is why. You're most likely only standing still, and then you have to basically rely on all of your analog stick just to track players. Now, I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to move around slightly. I'm not going to move that much, but watch. If I were to, aim down sight at this dummy and not move my right stick, keep in mind, I'm not aiming like this. I'm going to keep my stick completely still and only move around with my left stick. Watch what happens. You see that? It pulls onto the dummy. If I do it again, boom, it's pulling. I'm not moving my left stick at all. It's doing it all by itself. Once again, I'm going to move in front of it. Okay, it went the other way. And keep in mind, it also goes for forward and backwards. I'm not doing anything. You see that? It's pulling this like little wall. You can see kind of broke the aim assist. It kind of like snapped off when I went in front of there. But if I aim down sight right there and don't move my right stick and only move my left stick, it's going to pull with it. You see that? It happens every time. Now, in this situation, it's not pulling too much because you have some other dummies back here that are getting in the way. So my aim assist is kind of like going to left, and then it's going to track onto that one and then try to track onto that one. That's why it kind of stops during the middle. But if those dummies weren't there, if this was just a player, it would pull probably like halfway across this black little railing right here. That's how strong aim assist is in Warzone, and it's been like this for a while now. So once again, no rotation aim assist, just standing there, nothing happens. While I'm moving, that's just crazy. Wow, I went from like here all the way to there without doing anything to my right stick. So that's how streamers do it. That is the secret to rotation aim assist. It's not hard. Any player can apply it. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how you should apply it in every single gunfight for close range and long range. So if you were in a close range area with like an SMG or a pistol or something of that nature, it's pretty simple. Let's just say there's a player right behind here, or you were just ready to challenge a player in this general vicinity. Basically, as you are centered and pulling up on them, you want to be moving. That's why you see a lot of streamers slide cancel. This also counts as input, obviously. Anything that has input on your left stick is going to give you aim assist. So usually, let's just say this bag right here was a person. If I was to pick this corner, you want to be kind of strafing while shooting, just like this. And if you guys watch my gameplays, you guys would know that this is what I do a lot. There are multiple ways you guys can activate it. Like I said, any input works, but the reason why you want to strafe left and right is because if they do move left to right, you can kind of follow them and it makes it much stronger. Technically, yes, you could just walk straight in front of them like this, or you could even walk backwards, and that would activate rotation aim assist, but the fact that you're not moving left to right makes it a little bit more harder to track them if they do strafe. I do see a lot of players that will shoot at someone, they'll kind of just like keep walking forward like this. You don't really want to do that. I mean, it does work and it will kick an aim assist, but it's making you a easier target to hit, because if someone's just coming straight at you, they don't have to adjust. They don't have to move left to right. They don't have to do anything to their right stick. They can just shoot straight at you and they'll kill you. Whereas if you're moving left to right, they have to kind of constantly, track you, which obviously makes you a much harder target. In Warzone, it's not only about how many bullets you can hit, but it's also about how many bullets you can dodge. And that's why I recommend you guys strafe and don't just walk forward and backward. Unless you're like in a very skinny hallway, obviously. Like if you're in an angle where you really can't move that much, you don't want to give up too much of your character, expose yourself too much, you could kind of go back and forth. Like right here, if I wanted to like hold this angle and someone was right there, obviously you don't want to expose yourself too much because they can easily kill you. You probably want to like kind of go back and forward a little bit like this. You see my left my left stick on my controller. I'm not really moving too much to the right, but I'm still getting that aim assist kicked in. And another thing right here, if my back was against this wall right here and someone was aiming at me, if I'm backing up into the wall, even though I'm not moving, obviously my character's not moving, you guys can see my left stick is going backwards, so I am pushing back on this wall, I would still get rotational aim assist. So that goes for against a wall on the right. If I'm moving to the right and I am shooting at someone, I'm going to get a ton of rotation aim assist still. It doesn't really matter if your character is moving, it more so matters the input, like I said before. But ideally, you want your character to move because it's easier to dodge bullets. So once again, red bag is a player. If I challenge this, I want to slide in here and I'm moving around, jumping around, whatever you want to do. But as long as you're moving that stick as much as you can, that is what you want. Try to avoid running situations like this where you're kind of just running straight, and try to avoid in situations where you're kind of just backing up straight. That's going to most likely get you killed more often. Now, real quick, I'm going to show you guys exactly how you can break rotation aim assist as well as use it. A lot of players are wondering how they can actually fight against good players that know how to abuse this mechanic. There are quite a few ways to do that. Number one is simply just finding an object that can get in between you and them. So for example, if it's a player right there at those black bags and they're looking at me, simply doing this breaks their aim assist. It's very simple, but you're not always going to have cover or something you can use to easily break aim assist. So the best way to break aim assist in Warzone is either to slide cancel or to drop shot. Typically, if you do one of those two things, you are going to basically tag out the aim assist. For some reason, it just works very, very well when you drop shot. That's why if you see players drop shot on you, that's why you usually die quite a bit. Drop shotters know that it's pretty broken and it's the best way to counter rotational aim assist. So yeah, if you guys are in a situation where you are trying to, dodge bullets or try to break someone else's aim assist, you want to drop shot while still strafing. Like I said, same thing, you still strafe so you get aim assist as well, but you're also breaking their assist. So now you can like combo these, this information. You can combo the information I'm giving you by, drop shotting to break theirs while also activating yours by moving while you're on the ground, or while you're crouched, or while you're standing, or against a wall, or in front of a wall. Anything you are, any situation you're in, you can still activate it, but also make yourself the hardest target possible. Now, SMGs have a pretty fast strafe speed, and you can, move around quite a bit. But let's just say you're in a long range situation where you have an AR with a scope, or some sort of red dot. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how you want to kick that into. All right, so here I have an AR. I kind of just like slapped on a blueprint, but this is an AR. This is obviously not going to move as fast as an SMG. So if you are in long range fights, let's say someone at those escalator rails down there, you want to move not quite as much because you're not really trying to dodge bullets usually that much if you're at farther range. I mean, you are, But if someone doesn't see you, or you're just trying to fry someone that's kind of further away, you want to just kick in as much as you can, because obviously if you're strafing too much, you're going to kind of like make too many big adjustments, and it might be hard to track players. So if you notice when you watch my gameplays, I don't move too much when I am at longer range. I'll kind of move like this, you know, slightly strafe left to right, nothing crazy. You don't want to go too crazy with ARs, because like I said, if you strafe too much, it might be kind of hard to adjust unless you have a really slow gun like an LMG or a sniper. But this gun has a pretty solid strafe speed. Like, you're still gonna be moving quite a bit, so if you move too much, you might have to readjust quite a bit, which obviously you don't want. Moving too much can be a bad thing. You don't want to like move as fast as you possibly can. You just want to give an input to kick in rotation emesis. It's actually best if you move as least as possible, because that's the less you have to do with your right stick, and your emesis is going to kick in the most. But obviously you have to keep in mind that someone is going to shoot back at you, so you want to be moving that way they can't hit you. That's why it is a nice balance between moving and not moving. But obviously a nice sweet spot at long range would be kind of like something like this. You know, you kind of just, you know, little tiptoe. But in close range, you want to be moving as much as you can. Close range, move as much as you can. You don't want to be still, be moving. So that's all there is to rotation emesis. I hope this was clear and easy to understand. I'm going to try to be making more coaching videos on the channel. So if you guys did enjoy this one, make sure you guys subscribe and post notifications so you guys don't miss any more videos like this. I got a movement guide coming up soon, and how you guys can challenge really good players as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And with it being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, and understanding always.